Eric Burgess here with Music Marketing TV. Today we're going to be looking at the FabFilter Pro R and Timeless 3 with their powers combined. You can make some pretty incredible atmospheres. So here I've got this piano part that's the input. And if we go ahead, toss on these two in series. You get a really amazing atmosphere. So what's happening is it's going through Pro R, getting reverbed out, and then I'm taking that reverb and I am delaying it. And you can do some really cool things with Timeless 3. You can also get these really washed out textures, and I'm driving this with randomness. So what you just heard changes every single time. It changes dynamically, and you can sort of rein that in to a useful range. So let's talk about setting this up, because it's actually really easy. So the piano itself is coming in. There is a dry track, which is this one right here called main contact. And then regular contact is the parallel channel. You can see it gets sent here as well. So on this channel, we're going to add a Pro R to it. And the Pro R by default has it set to 100%. It's made to go on a parallel bus. I'm going to dial this up to, quite high. And if we just add this as is, just get a really nice reverb. Go ahead and remove the EQ. And, that's it. That's what we have there. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to add a Timeless 3 to this, if I can spell it right. And in Timeless 3, we are given a couple of cool options. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come over to the taps menu, click this drop down, and we're going to go over to random. This is just going to generate a bunch of random taps. And if we play it just like it is right now, nothing too crazy. Next thing I'm going to do, we're going to bring the delay way up. And finally, if we bring the feedback up, this is going to cause these taps to grow instead of shrink. So you could, if you wanted, just sort of move this in and out on your own. But notice here, there is a random LFO. If you actually click on it and then click on the value, you can see it's a random value. And we're going to take this random value that's already on the default. I'm going to click this little, modulation point and move it over to the feedback and have it randomly control the feedback. Now I'm going to bring the feedback down and I'm going to give this a little more range. And it's really only going to start to grow when we start crossing over this like that. Now, occasionally these values can linger. So you may want to do something a little more dynamically controlled, but this is going to give us some of those swells that we were hearing before. Waiting for a big swell. It's random, so we can help it out a bit by moving it up some. So there you have it. Occasionally these bursts of longer verb will come in because the delay has been brought up via this feedback control. Now, the last things I like to do are come in and occasionally I'll touch some of the additional controls that are just by default on this setting that have already been set up. But I'm going to change the dynamics and just bring this up a bit. So when this happens, we get this nice dynamic move. And I also am going to bring the diffusion up. These other things are going to vary with the content that you're feeding into this, but I find that I like to do these two things quite often. So that is just a quick little tidbit on how you can use Pro R and Timeless 3 to create some pretty amazing atmospheres. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them down below. Subscribe and hit that bell icon for future videos, and have a blessed day.